I'm gassed, ladies and gentlemen. You guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. I am gassed. What a day. What a day. Let's get it going, people. You already know what it is. Eagle Talks Football. Vibes from the six. You got to make sure you guys check out today's title sponsor, OK Jersey. 8% off. The link will be in the description. And of course, let's get this intro going. You know, I was telling Rack before, I was just chilling, vibing to like old school music. And I'm just chilling there, like, nothing to go, so, nothing to go, so. Yo, and then Man United go and do what they do. I'm so gassed, bro. I am so gassed. I'm so gassed. Arsenal win from a set piece. Manchester United win from a set piece. And Arne Slot was running his mouth in the press conference before the weekend started, talking about set pieces and saying how his team conceded from this many percent set pieces. Arsenal scored this many percent set pieces. And the percentages just went up. And it's coincidence that they lose from that. Of course, another man who runs his mouth about set pieces, Ange Postecoglou, got sacked after he conceded a bunch of set pieces to Chelsea, and Chelsea went and slapped Forest. And Vader just joined us, as I was about to mention, Manchester City, aka Haaland FC, with another victory this weekend. It's been a good weekend for us three, not so much for Rack, but Ahmed's here till 9. We got a lot to talk about. Before everyone joins in, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. Of course, don't forget to check out the title sponsor on today's show, OK Jersey. You can get a discount of 8% off if you use the link and use the code EGAL, of course. And shout out to Tim and everybody else in the chat already. I can see a lot of people are already coming into the chat. Should we just get the Arsenal game out of the way so we can talk about Liverpool, Man United after? Because I feel like Jay and Ahmed don't really want to talk about Arsenal. Let's start with Arsenal. Arsenal win versus Fulham. You know what? Let's start with your team, Vader. Man City win with Haaland. Haaland FC is going around. Do you think it's a problem that you guys, Haaland consistently is this guy who's turning up with the goals and you're not really sharing them around? Or is it a thing that is like, you're not worried. You're not concerned.
No, I kind of take the same approach you took a couple of seasons ago when you were getting a lot of set piece goals, right? Like you accept with what you're getting within games. It's not a problem. Your team's executing. You're getting results. You don't really put it in the negative. I think what we've shown over past seasons is, Haaland's going to score, but then we get trinkles, we get a few contributions from elsewhere, not major numbers like Haaland. So no, it's not concerning. If they want to run with the Haaland FC, if they want to run when Haaland's not there, you guys are done. Go ahead, do that. They were saying, rivals were saying that with regards to Liverpool last season. Rivals were saying that with regards to City a couple seasons ago when Haaland was doing a madness and actually got the golden boot but broke the goal scoring record. So
let me rephrase it. Yeah. It's not a concern, but do you think Haaland is enough by himself to carry you to the title?
If he continues playing like this, 100%. Like these are special numbers. This is special performance.
11 goals.
You know he should have had more in that game.
Exactly. Like he and again, he was pressing at the end of that game because he did want that hat trick. He was pressing a little bit because I saw him try to score the goal with his right foot when he could have easily scored it with his left instead of having a goal on his left, a header, and a right-footed goal. So he was living up. He was trying to get for the moment, but it's not a concern because again, the manager is going to feed through a player like this, right? A manager is going to say, "We've got a killer up front." If it was Harry Kane that was here, and everybody wants to say, if Harry Kane was here, he'd be scoring this many goals. I doubt it. He doesn't have the same mentality.
Welcome, Jay. Jay, just to let you know, we're on Man City first, and we're discussing the topic of can Haaland single-handedly carry the City side to the title, or do they now need more players to chip in and start performing to an adequate level?
Oh, no. And I just want to say something real quick here. Yeah. You know how you're obviously talking about Haaland, bro. I watched that game, bro. You see the passes that Foden was pulling, that guy, he was unbelievable. I thought he was quality. Even
Foden's been good. He's been good.
I know he don't. I know he doesn't have the what people love nowadays is the J merchants in it. But like I said, that performance from Foden was class, bro. I'm not even glazed.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, you're glazed."
You must have loved the Saka performance because he didn't get a GA, but
Igal, we don't need to move on to the Arsenal just yet. Relax. But this is the whole point. You can't help yourself. The Foden performance, the Foden performance, and I appreciate Ahmed bringing it up, is like it doesn't always need to result in that goal or assist, but you see what they're unlocking. You see the pockets that they're occupying, and you see how the team's got to respond to where he is. Like he was, again, Igal would relate to this. Foden had the hockey assist. Foden had the pass before the final pass that got to Haaland and with regards to the goal. So I'm happy with how we're playing. I think if teams decide to completely take away Haaland, then we'll find another way to score. But right now it's a balance, and I'm taking full advantage as much as we can. His goal tally is ridiculous, and the fact that we have so many other players that just have one goal is actually, in my eyes, a positive. The fact that other players have contributed, yes, they're not big numbers, but they've all gone onto the score sheet speaks to if they get their opportunity, they're going to take it, and other teams got to worry about the rest of the team. So I'm calm. This result was great. I'm glad that we were able to take this.
Even Cherky's cameo as well. Like even that cameo, like Cherky's
exactly. An easy just step on the pit, and you see the quality. Like, see Ahmed with the glasses, just like myself. We see the finer points within the game.
Bro.
You know what I mean? So Shirky, fresh off that pitch, off injury, already showed his talent, and he should have had a goal. Funny enough, Shirky should have had a goal. But again, it's calm settings. Calm settings. Igal, we'll talk about Arsenal a little later. We'll see how Jay wants to talk about his team. Ahmed, Manchester, everyone's happy in Manchester right now. Rax off camera for a reason.
I live in Manchester and I'm not happy at the moment. So, you know.
Well, listen, you can always join United, you get me? Yeah? You can always join United.
We'll get on to that. Well, just on
Jay's
on
accustomed to wearing blue. If he's going to change.
We'll talk about Spurs in a bit.
Just on Foden and Haaland. Yeah, Haaland definitely can. I remember when me and Veta were having this point about Haaland as a 9, and I said that he's generational. And I remember arguing with you, guy, and I said to you, like, no, because what he's doing, no one's ever done before. Yeah. Therefore, it's one is in a lifetime. And I remember you were trying to push back on that argument, and now you're seeing what essentially he's always broken records. He's always scored at a rate that no one else has. So once you've literally done that, no one can really say you're not the best because you're proving you're the best with your goals to minute ratio and things like that. And he was big. Hey, Rax. Tough weekend, eh? Tough me too. Yeah. But yeah, in terms of the City, like they've had their blip, and I know it might sound like they're not going to still have a blip, but they're improving. Obviously, it helps them a lot. Grealish not being able to play in this game. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it helps a lot, but they were solid. They scored when they needed to score. And I think City are starting to slowly... It's too early to see if City have rectified all the problems that they had, but they're definitely trending in a positive direction in relation to it.
Yeah.
You know what? You know why I'm smiling ear to ear? Because as we're sitting here talking about City's title hopes, I got people messaging me left, right, and center. Liverpool fans, Man United fans, telling me, "Yo, it's your title. It's your title it's your title this season. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours." Can City have something to say about that? That's the question.
Only if Arsenal let them.
Right.
Like as in, like it's in Arsenal's hands. I refuse to believe that if City were to win this league, that Arsenal wouldn't have thrown it away. Or Arsenal wouldn't have had the opportunity, because I put Arsenal as, like I said before, Arsenal were my favourites. Like, and people were like, "Oh, why they've not won?" Blah blah. I'm like, squad, the investment, they're hard to beat, they're resilient. Like, obviously, we'll see again. Set piece Arsenal. I don't want to talk about Arsenal too much, but City are doing well. Like
Wait. I thought you said because Spurs now score set pieces, you don't mind set pieces.
I don't mind set pieces, but the fact about set pieces is eventually, sometimes, if you don't score set pieces, do you win those games? And that's what always will happen at a certain point in the season is you won't score the set piece. And in those games, sometimes Arsenal in the past have lost 1-0.
The question is, did we deserve...
This is deja vu. We had the same argument about set pieces last season.
Exactly.
No one complains about the fact that Arsenal are scoring set pieces. It's your over reliance on set pieces. Like with Haaland, City can afford to over-rely on him because not only when they have over-relied on him in the past, they've also won the league. They've also won the league.
There's good data.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, but last season,
by the way,
we had the same conversation about set pieces. And then
one second. Just so everybody knows, open play XG, we're also 6th on the table. That's not. It's not like it's only set pieces that are winning us games. Set pieces are part of our game, but if I'm not mistaken, Liverpool won 9 games because of penalties last season. Is that not a set piece?
Yeah, fair.
What do you mean? What do you mean by we won 9 games?
9 separate games where the crucial winning goal came from a penalty.
Wow,
yeah, but
really?
You made the argument that the penalty was denying
okay.
goal scored.
How many? Yeah, and how many did other teams have?
I'm specifically speaking.
We only know data. You can't say no. Because the thing is, you need to do a comparison. No, because if you have to over reliance.
I guess we're here at Liverpool United now.
No, my comparison. Forget about Man City. I guess we're talking about.
Yeah, I guess we're here. We go.
It's the Arsenal section. Rack. My point is about title-winning sides. Chelsea won a title where they were one of the best set-piece teams in Premier League history. You guys not remember that? When John Terry and all these guys were banging in set pieces on a regular basis.
Can you name their attack, though?
You're missing the point. No, but either you're deliberately misunderstanding or you don't. No, because being the best at set pieces is great. It's over-reliance. Are you over-reliant on set pieces?
We are not relying on them. We win a couple games here and there because our defense is so good. We don't necessarily need to.
How many? Okay, so how many of the 8 games that you've played this season? How many of the winning goals have come from set pieces, or how many of your goals have come from set pieces?
3.
So 3 out of 8. 3 out of 8.
Yeah.
You know that's like 40%, right?
You do realize you had the same thing.
But 40% of your set piece, 40% of your wins have come from set piece goals. You don't think that's over reliance?
Bro, do you not realize you did the same thing?
That's not the same thing. But anyway, even if you say that's the same,
you not understand that 30% of every team's goals comes from set pieces.
Not winning goals. You said 30% of your winning goals came from set pieces.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of 1-0s and close games.
Okay.
The first game of the season was from a set piece.
Is this deja vu? Did we have this same argument last season?
Yes, but the difference is
what happened?
We have the squad depth now to deal with the injuries, and we should have more creativity than we had in the past. We dominated that game, and if we did not score from a set piece, I have no doubt in my mind that we would have went on to go score. Same way how you guys said the points totals, you can't talk about the points totals because you took the foot off the gas. Well, when we scored that first goal and we realized that they had nothing for us, we didn't necessarily go as gung-ho as we would have.
After we'd won the league, there's a different story, right? But you hadn't won the game. At 1-0, you haven't won the game. There's a complete different story.
We shut off the game. They created 0 threat. West Ham and Fulham 2 weeks in a row. Arsenal, the first team to have a 0 XT in the Premier League's history. Anyways,
do you know what XT is? Do you know what XT is?
Expected threat.
Yeah, but do you know how define expected threat?
The passes that lead to a threat, like a shot or a chance-creating chance.
Okay.
It's like if you're going to, it's almost like if you're attacking, like if you attack properly, it will play out in a certain way. But you sometimes don't attack properly, and therefore the chance doesn't materialize. So it's almost like the build-up for the XG, as it were. So it's like XG would be the actual
expected threat is like the best way to explain it is the pass before the pass.
I mean, I wouldn't say that was the best way to explain it, but it's not. It's like I just said. It's if you get the ball and Martinelli's got to square the ball for somebody to have an open net, and Martinelli miskicks the ball. Yeah, the expected threat is higher than the XG that would have been created. Do you see what I mean?
See, this is why I don't do stats in it, bro. I just watch with the TV, bro. Do you get me?
All right, guys. Arsenal win from a set piece again, and I'm honestly. We don't even have the most set piece goals in the Premier League. It's Chelsea.
I mean, if you, the thing is it's by the by. Like if you can keep it tight at the other end and shithouse 1-0s all season, you'll probably win the league. So, I'm sure you guys don't care how you do it as long as you do it, right?
No, but like I said,
the main issue people have is it's tough to watch for them.
Sometimes.
I couldn't care.
But we'll circle back to Arsenal. Liverpool.
Yeah, I guess we'll come back to Arsenal. Ahmed, Manchester United beat Liverpool convincingly. And Ahmed, Chelsea, welcome. You guys got Ange sacked. Good weekend for you too.
I mean, you know that game, by the way. Sort of just to butt in.
You guys were bare lucky in that first half.
I was about to say that, innit, bro. They were lucky, because Forest had some killer chances. They should have won by 3 goals, innit? Like, do you get me? Like,
the one that hit the bar was crazy. How did Igor hit the bar from that angle?
Yeah, Gibbs White as well. Like Chelsea, bro. Like, listen, fair play. Innit?
This is not the Chelsea section, though. Do you guys want to stay?
Are we talking about the Scousers? Yeah.
Yeah, we could talk about that. We'll come back to it. It was just more of a welcome to Ahmed.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well.
Big up Ahmed, though, innit?
Big up, boys.
Where's the gauntlet? Infinity Gauntlet. You need it right now.
Well, me, listen, yeah, bro. Listen, I just I need to actually purchase that. Yeah, today. Listen, it's been a rough week for me.
I was talking to the other Ahmed. He has the Infinity Gauntlet behind him.
Oh, yeah.
It's on the wall right now.
What's he got behind him? Like swords? What is that? Belt?
It is swords. Yeah.
Oh, swords. Bro. Man's fighting Maresca, yeah? Bro.
No, yeah.
He's out here moving like Sheffield United.
Obviously, we want to platform United, but yeah, I guess one little thing about Liverpool just quickly was it's interesting that Slot was talking about set pieces coming into this game, and then for Liverpool to concede another set piece, it was. And
he also mentioned Arsenal. And
I know you mentioned Arsenal, but again, it's second phase set pieces racks. Have you noticed that a little bit? Like, it's like some players are trying to attack, some players are still trying to defend, some people are pushing out, some people. It's like you're not on this. By the way, I will say I think Van Dijk hates Kirkers. Like, I actually think he hates him. Like, I was watching some of them rats. You know what I'm talking about here? Like, some of the mannerisms. He looks at him like he's a buffoon. I swear to God, he looks at him like this guy. He's like, this guy is stupid. Yeah, like there was one moment in that game when Kirkers he kicked the ball into Kirkers' face, which was literally his fault, by the way. Yeah, he kicked the ball into Kirkers' face, and then he looks at Kirkers like, "Man, you're an idiot, man." Right? And that left side, there's something wrong with it. Like, there's something wrong with that Liverpool left side. Like Van Dijk, he doesn't enjoy playing with Kirkers. They don't sync. They're not working well.
I'll tell you what it is, Van Dijk. Yeah, Van Dijk doesn't enjoy defending. That's why he backs away all the time, innit? That's what he does. Yeah, he backs away non-stop. You get me? Yeah. Like I said, big up my baller. Yeah, Ahmed Diallo. Big up my baller. Yeah, quality pass with the outside the foot to Mbeumo. Sick pass, bro. These guys were chatting nonsense on my baller, bro. Like, this is crazy. What a pass and what a finish. And you know what's mad? You know what's crazy? Yeah? I didn't even expect us to win this game. I was like, at best, maybe we get a draw. You let Amorim, the worst coach I've ever seen at club, get back-to-back wins at your ground. In 10 years, we've not won in that ground since Rooney back. 10 years.
Right now.
10 years, that's crazy.
10 years is crazy. Listen, there's one, you know what it is, yeah? Every time there's pressure on Liverpool, they can't hack it, innit? Simple as that. They can't actually hack it.
But, you know, the thing is out there is, like, when you look at it, like, Liverpool as well, to an extent, sometimes it's like Liverpool are in the city. Like, Veta will be very happy because Liverpool will be like, it's Liverpool in the city role now. So when City, every year we're winning titles, people act like it was just beans. It was just easy. They had the momentum, and now you're seeing afterwards, like it's difficult. I said it at the time. I've said it. Liverpool did a lot of disruption to the team, but today it's just more about, like, again, Liverpool, they get back into the game. It's 1-1, and they go and concede the winner. Yeah, they've done that multiple times now. Comeback level, conceded a late goal. It's just, I'm like, I'm trying to understand whether they just get too excited. Obviously, they're Liverpool. They need to try and go get the win. But it's like, just that format, like, at the end, it was just like, throw as many attackers on as possible. Van Dijk playing up front. It just feels a lack of, just almost like premeditation. Almost. It feels they're throwing him out there, and Ekitike as well. Ekitike, Rax, we spoke about this, yeah. Thank you. We spoke about this.
Watch for the copyright. Yeah, watch for the copyright.
You just don't. But when you look at Ekitike, right, and you say, Liverpool's potential initial downfall started when Ekitike took his shirt off. Yeah. And then was suspended. Run
that back.
Bloody hell.
No, Rax, that's what I'm saying, because it's the domino effect of then Isak starting the next game when he maybe wasn't meant to. And also maybe the way Ekitike is looked at in slot size. I do feel since that moment there's been a subtle, just a small lowering of like, even when he's supposed like stupid.
He's heating up.
He looks at it and I'm just like, obviously, terrible result today.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. The performance was. I'll let you take it from here, Rax. What did you think of the performance?
No, Rax is eating. Let me say this real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Because this game was built up. It had to be, right? It's United versus Liverpool, and it's at Anfield. It had to be built up. And the thing is, Rax, I'm watching it. I like chilling on these panels. I love this show, but I watch Rax's behavior. Right? I was never paid as a body consultant like United did. But had I been, I could tell you Rax is not comfortable right now. Rax hasn't been comfortable for a long time, but he puts on the best face forward.
Yeah, but you know what? Before Rax goes, there's certain players that I want to talk about in this Liverpool side that get overrated to the max. Let's talk about that Egyptian Townsend first of all. Mo Salah, he stinks.
That miss from Mo Salah. Unbelievable.
Bro, Mo Salah is an absolute...
It's not. If you played football, that's not an easy. The ball is not on his left foot. It's right in the middle. It's not an easy. You need to readjust your body to be able to shoot, and then to do that, you need time.
But the miss, the way he missed it,
bro. He can't kick football, bro.
Okay, what about Isak's?
Isak's was a good chance.
Isak should have scored.
Rax in defense mode.
Isak buries that for Newcastle. Like, if Isak's in that same position last season, he buries that chance.
Anyways, go back to the Townsend you were talking about.
Yeah, bro.
Salah playing for his contract buries that chance.
Bro, you know what? In the NBA, there's something called contract season. In football,
you keep saying these things like no one's ever talked about them before. That's not a thing. People, literally, your own former player, Alexis Sanchez, was a contract guy, right? And what's his name? Ozil.
Aubameyang.
So when you say you don't hear about these things in football, you do hear about these things. You hear about it specifically at your own club.
Fight. But it is one thing to say. Is like, is he declining? Is it the way slots using?
No, he's not declining. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what it is with Salah. He's not declining. This is the type of player he is, and he's always been like that. He's not declining. Listen. He's always been like this, yeah. Maybe he's declined in pace, but in terms as how he plays as a footballer, yeah, it's the same stuff, yeah. Because it's the same because, like I said, he played a pass to Gakpo, which resulted in hitting the post. If that went in, for example,
that was a great pass. That
was one moment in the game, but everything else he was trash. If he got that assist,
didn't he play the pass to Isak as well? Or he was involved in the build-up. Maybe it was because it was Szoboszlai who played to Salah, and Salah played.
As much as I want to bash on Salah, he is involved in everything good that happened.
What did he do today?
I don't know. I mean,
not today.
What did he do today? I think the thing is, Salah's not having a great season. Let's be honest, right? He's not having a great season. There's been a lot of change to our front line and potentially midfield with Wirtz coming in. That's not an excuse. And he needs to do better. He needs to do better.
He carried you last season. We can't expect him to carry them.
No. The team carried Salah last season. There's a difference.
Salah.
Wow. Stop it. It's like saying, would you turn around and say Man City's team is carrying Haaland right now? Of course he isn't.
100%, I would say so.
What?
100%.
How?
I'll tell you why. Because they're playing to his strengths.
Let me hear this. I want to hear this. Go on. Explain how Man City
are playing to Haaland's strengths, by the way, by facilitating so much for him to the point where they've got Foden creating, Cherki creating, Doku creating. He's got every single chance creator behind him to feed him. All the crosses that come into him, Savio's going to put the balls into him. Everyone in that Man City team has got the instructions to feed Haaland.
But by the same token,
but that's not discounting that he's not a great goal scorer.
Yeah, no, but that's not true. The thing is, City are a good team, obviously, and Haaland is a world-class striker, and of course, you play to his strengths. But it's because of Haaland's form that City are doing that. So it's like I can platform Anthony Alanga. he ain't getting 40 GA. Like, do you know what I mean? It's platforming is one thing. The output is the other.
Rax is stress eating right now.
You know what it is. You know what it is. Yeah. I think for me, when this comes to Liverpool, it just feels like a team that is playing on zero chemistry, and I feel like there's no managerial instruction in regards to how we're gonna play the game today. If that makes sense. That's I think where it just comes down to fundamentally. I think. We can. So I think we can criticize every player. I can call Isak rubbish. I can call Salah rubbish. But but once we start reaching, I think a certain number of players not playing well, right? It's we can't just say just players only. Does that make sense? We have to start looking at the man that's putting the players on the pitch. The man that's giving them instructions.
I got to challenge that. I got to challenge that.
I have to say that, man. We've got to look at that too.
Ahmed, I just want to point this out. Before Rax goes in full defense mode, let me just say this real quick.
No, I said Ahmed's right. Like if you're a manager and you take the plaudits when you win, you have to take criticism when you lose.
No, I agree, but at the same time, with the players getting the credit, getting the cheers when they're doing what they're doing, they should also get the criticism when they're not. So I want to keep it balanced. I hear what you're saying, Ahmed, but you can see that this manager is trying different combinations to get something out of these players, right? And I've been hearing it too much from not Rax, he did mention it, but many Liverpool fans are saying there were many changes made up front. Well, the changes made up front was actually giving more quality. Like Salah not performing to the level that he should be, he's actually surrounded by better quality than last year. So you can't use the excuse that.
And Vader, also, we chose to make those changes. It's not. We weren't forced. They weren't forced upon us. We chose. We decided.
Absolutely.
We made a conscious effort. But if you make that, if that's the choice or the road you go down, then it has to work.
You know what my problem is, Vic, I'm gonna hit you with this, yeah, I don't mind the thing of also criticizing the players. I'm not saying you should criticize the players, but we should start really looking at if these players are all performing poorly, right? We have to start looking at the gaffer, bro. If it's more than if it's more than half the squad or half the side 11, for example, then we need to start looking at the gaffer, in my personal opinion. But furthermore, to my own point, right? I'm beginning to question. The transfer strategy here. I'm not saying the guys you brought are bad. I'm saying when you brought these guys.
When a Chelsea fan talks transfer strategy, I listen. Go ahead.
No. What I mean is when you buy these guys, right? What is the plan, right? Tactically, you brought in Kirkers, you brought in Frimpong, right? You brought in Works, you brought in Isak, Ekitike, etc. All these guys you brought together, right? Have you, the manager, have you thought about this is how I'm going to integrate XYZ? Because it feels like to me that part of the situation has not been figured out. I feel like a lot of this is just down to we need to buy these guys because they're top players, right? And we're gonna figure out the rest later. That's what it feels like to me. Almost like Real Madrid-esque, where they'll buy all these top players and they'll be like, you know what, we're gonna figure out later. We'll leave that to them and everything of the sort. And that for me, if that's happened, then I think for me that's. You kind of put the manager in a bit of a.
You do, and right? Can I piggyback on that a little bit? And
yes,
Yigal, apologies, I do have to leave. But this is, and I've said this. I think, in hindsight, if we want to look at things, Klopp. I know he's no longer the manager, but Klopp had such a great failsafe, such a great parachute. He could never be criticized for having the best team or have spent more than other teams within a season. Right? He always had that underdog, I cannot compete excuse. Arnie does not have that whatsoever. So the scrutiny, the criticism, it's tremendous pressure. And another thing that many Liverpool fans have that I know they're kind of struggle because they can't fall back on it. Rax may not be one of them, but it's the FSG didn't do enough, right? That kind of fallback convo, that fail safe, they can't do that. So it fully falls on Arnie. Arnie needs to figure this out because he was backed by the ownership, right? So it's going to be an interesting season. I've said this many times. It's difficult to repeat, right? Ahmed, you know that. Ahmed, you know that. It's difficult to repeat. And the pressure that's on these players, the pressure that's on this manager, we'll see how they deal with it, honestly.
Because you know what it is, yeah? You've done a 4-peat. My club, yeah, has done a 3-peat, not once, but twice. I think Liverpool have done it once, yeah? Retaining a league title ain't easy, innit? It's not easy, especially when all eyes are on you with the amount of signings that you've made. Everyone's going to be watching you.
Educate them, Ahmed. Educate these guys.
The thing is, the league title that he won last year was amazing. I didn't expect it.
I was thinking that today. Everyone's giving them their best shot.
Bro, you've got Isak. You spent 130 million on Isak. Is getting pocketed by Luke Shaw. Big up, yeah. You got pocketed by Luke Shaw tonight, you know. Luke Shaw pocketed.
Before
you
finish up, bro, I'm gonna have Rack speak on this, but I'm just gonna say, we already spoke about Arne Slot. Don't really need to talk about it. We already spoke about Salah, Isak. Verts didn't even start. I'm not even gonna get onto him. Your starting back line, taking out Robertson, who's been consistent and not at his best anymore, and taking out Trent has done so much damage to the rest of your team's build-up play. Because majority of that midfield was last year's midfield. Though Kirkes has been nowhere near the level yet, and Connor Bradley looks poor. Sorry, I'm like a little sick. Connor Bradley looks a little bit off it too.
You know what it is, yeah? Igal talks about Kirkes like we don't know, but what is his level in it? Because we've seen him at Bournemouth, yeah, and he was decent there. I just think with Kirkes' level, he's just decent. He's just okay. Like there's nothing special about him. Like obviously he plays like Ekitike, he's quality, right?
But I wanted to do this. I wanted to speak about the build-up play and Trent being gone, how much they actually miss him. Because number one, he's an outlet. You give him the ball, he's a safe pair of hands where he can start off counterattacks. And today, Liverpool's counterattacks, it seemed like every time you had the ball in the counter, you were missing that final pass.
But I mean, Trent is a world-class right back, and he's been a world-class right back for the last 7 years. Like, of course, you take a world-class player out of any specific position, you're going to miss them. So this shouldn't really come as a surprise when fans, and I said it before, all fans have a habit of platforming their new up and coming player potentially at the expense of someone who's been there, done that, and worn the t-shirt, right? When I wouldn't say Sterling did that when he was at Liverpool, but when Jordan Ibe was coming through and Sterling left, Liverpool fans were saying, "Don't worry about Sterling, we got Jordan Ibe." How did that go? Right? Same thing. Like people were talking about, "Oh, don't worry about Trent. Connor Bradley's here," and like Connor Bradley came in on a few occasions last season and did okay, and he had a couple of eye-catching moments. But to do that year in, year out at a world-class elite level is not easy. And look, I think I didn't think Kirk was very good today. I think he's had games where he's been okay this season and games where he hasn't been great. And he needs to sort himself out as well.
Right? Can I be honest, right? Yeah, I think this Trent thing, I think is very overblown. And the reason why I say that is that, again, if you look at last season again, I think Connor Bradley is a solid right back. Obviously, he's not on Trent's level offensively, right? But you don't have to worry necessarily about that when you've got, for example, a good right winger in that area, right? Essentially, as long as you've got a good wing play there with your fullback and whoever the right winger is, I really do not think that is much of an issue. You brought in Watts. Whether, like, yes, he may not be falling now, but ideally, that is a guy that's going to be the creative spark for you, right? Essentially, at least in the midfield was. So,
but there's difference though, because sometimes Wirtz is being forced to drop too far back. The thing with the thing that Trent gives us, he gives us a wide ball to stretch the play to your left winger, for example, up to your striker or to Salah. And yes, we have gained some creativity because undoubtedly Wirtz is more creative than Szoboszlai. Even though we haven't seen, I think it's fair to say that's the case. He's proved it a very high level in Germany, and he wasn't just a player in Germany. He was the player. He was the player of the year in Germany. So when people make comparisons between Germany and England, how many German players of the year wouldn't make it in England? It's a different story if you're talking about some midfielder or whatever. So that's something to be said. And the fact that Trent is deeper than Wirtz gives us that option. So we can play a long ball and split defence, or we can play a penetrative pass into midfield, or we can spread the play to the left-hand side, or we can find Salah down the line. There's a lot of different passes in his ammunition that can make a difference. And he's been a part of our team for the last 7 years. And when you don't have that anymore, look, that you could argue we knew he was going for a while, and it's the manager's responsibility to replace that. And I you know what? I agree with that. It's his manager. Ultimately, the manager is the person, just like with any other man, just like with Arteta, just like with Pep, just like with anybody else. If it works, the manager gets applauded. So if it doesn't work, the manager gets the criticism.
Can I just say though, obviously a lot of Liverpool fans downplayed Trent when he was leaving. Not you, Rax, but a lot of them downplayed him. His importance to the team. Rax, I agree with you on Wirtz, only because I don't want my talent ID to be worse than I thought it was.
You say it's more about you than it's about me.
I thought this guy was good. This guy, I said this before, like he reminds me so much of Donny van der Beek. Yeah, like it reminds me so much of Donny van der Beek. Yeah, like it's like a highly it's a different level, and I know what you're saying. He's the best player in Germany, this and that, but we have a similar issue with Simmons at the moment. The pace of the game is really quick for them, for them to be able to impact the game. And it's a big thing with number 10s, playing in the space, playing in the gaps, playing in the holes.
Donny never even got game time for us, to be fair. Like even the games that he did play.
Yeah, but it's a byproduct of not being good enough. Do you know what I mean? That's
no, not really.
He never got to play because he wasn't good enough.
No, it's because Ole wasn't good enough.
No, because I'm saying that just even looking at it from this point of view, Wirtz is obviously a very talented player and he should get up to speed. But 10 games, no goals, no assists, not starting big games. Even when he came on, he was kind of involved in the scramble a little bit, but didn't really do much. He had a couple. To be fair, he had one or two. But it's like, oh, nothing. Yeah.
Jay, can I ask you a question, mate? You can continue on from what I'm gonna ask you. Yeah? But this is what, again, I'm asking this question because, listen, I've seen this at Chelsea a lot. Well, I see this pretty much all the time at Chelsea, to be honest, right? But we buy a lot of these young guys, right? Mm-hmm. Essentially. And I feel, I would say this season, I would say particular season, and I think somewhat last season, we found when we brought these guys, we've actually done the thing of we know where these guys are going to play and how we're going to integrate them. But at least the vast majority of the big signings we're making. I feel it looks like this to me. I'm not saying Liverpool have done this, but it feels like they brought a lot of these top guys and have not thought about the integration that's going to occur. Right, that has not been thought out for me. That's where I think the issue legit lies.
The thing is, though, Ahmed, the guys who run Liverpool, and they've been given plaudits in the past, so they don't all of a sudden go from hero to zero. They're not idiots, right? They're arguably some of the most accomplished, if not the most accomplished, recruitment team set up in world football. One of them, right? So they're not stupid. I just don't think it's working out right now. So they have thought about it, but maybe they've made a mistake, or maybe the players haven't adapted as quickly as they hoped, or maybe the manager hasn't adapted as quickly as hoped. And you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If they've made mistakes, then they deserve criticism, absolutely. But they would have thought about it. I don't think they. If we're thinking about it, none of us have worked professionally in football before. They would have thought about it.
You know, the main thing is, I don't think they thought about how the sum of the title winning parts all worked together so well.
Yeah.
I feel like they looked at individual key areas and said, let's improve here with this kind of skill set, but they ignored like the runners and the ability to run in behind and the ability to feed off of other players instead of being the main person, where each key addition you made is a player that you kind of need to play to their strengths. When you look at Frimpong, he's a player you need to play to his strengths. When you look at Isaac, he's a player who you need to feed and give as many opportunities.
Probably the best point
or inverts, you need to feed him and give him opportunities in certain key areas that's going to take away from whoever's playing in the left wing or whoever's playing centrally. And then it's kind of like all these players now are added to a team where they're no longer the main man, and it's taking away from their skill sets because they're not getting to be utilized the same way. But at the same time, the players who you already had there, who were the main men, are also not being utilized the same way. So Liverpool have a big personnel issue. Even though they brought better players, those better players are not being utilized the same way.
Yeah, but one thing on that, guy, like, for example, take a Kirkes. If you looked at Kirkes at Bournemouth, impactful, two-way defender, intensity, they probably thought they were getting like baby Robbo. Do you know what I mean? And he's coming in now, and it's like he's forgotten how to defend. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's just the two-wayness is not the same, and
I don't even see him making those passes.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is like the way Kirkes plays and runs now, it's because there's no one to. The way Liverpool are playing in midfield, there's no one to cover him. Do you know what I mean? So he has to stay back.
Because the thing Bournemouth, I think it was Tavernier or Christie did a great job, because those guys were real engines. Like we should give them great engines.
It's a good point because Tavernier actually pplayed quite a lot on the left that season, even though he plays on the right as well. So it's like his defensive workload to cover Kirkes going up and down. It was a great point, understated.
Yeah, so like this is what I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying these guys are top gurus. Like I know a lot of clubs, myself included, I've tried to get some of the guys that Liverpool have in their department, right? I don't think it's right to blame them. I'm also looking at Slot here and thinking, you've been given these pieces, and you probably were being told that these are the guys you're probably going to target, right? What were you thinking was going to get the best out of all these guys to make stuff work? Really, that's the guy we should be really ideally be looking at in terms of everything.
If Hughes and Slot sat down in the summer and said, "This is why we need to improve the team," I would look at the summer and be like, "Okay, if Liverpool had just bought, let's say they bought Isak, they lost Nunes, got Isak or something, or just even kept Nunes and just brought Ekitike in to replace Jota." And then brought a centre back and a DM and a right back. Do you know what I mean? They could have been fine. They could have been very similar to last season. Do you know what I mean? But if they're changing structurally, like Brack said, it's a choice. They weren't forced to do this.
Exactly.
They chosen to evolve the team. And the thing is that when you see this now, what they do moving forward is like the players will get better. The players will gel. The players will develop more.
Exactly.
However, 4 defeats in a row is crazy. And if you think about City, what did City have? City had to rectify their whole team after they lost 4 in a row. That was the level that City were fucked. I don't think Liverpool are anywhere near that fucked, but I'm like, it's sit upness now at the moment because the talisman aren't talismaning, and the defense has always been a bit like this, but Liverpool was scoring more, and maybe Alisson was stopping. Stopping this.
Which goal does Alisson stop today?
I think he stops the first goal.
Fair.
The thing is, what? I'm gonna just say something real quickly, and that is that Mamada's really is a good shot stopper. So I don't. Maybe it's because I probably know a little bit more about him. And I've watched him a bit more, obviously, in his time in the league and stuff like that. But I'm expecting a little bit more from him in my personal opinion in terms of like some of the shot stopping, in my personal opinion, right? But it is what it is. But the one thing I will say is that obviously, if you're Liverpool going forward and if you're Slot going forward, you've had a 4-game loss. I just think for me, it's about getting back to basics now, right? Just making sure you just get the basics right, because that's the one thing, that you can go back to.
You know, the worrying thing though is the worrying thing is, I think that's kind of what he tried to do today. He went back to basics. He went the apart from Isak, for what's his name, for Diaz. That was that's 2 of our front 3 last season, right? The midfield is the same midfield, and we haven't got Trent and Kirkes. Trent and Connor Bradley have swapped, and Kirkes and Robertson have swapped. So there's been 3 changes, which is probably the minimum number of changes, because you're always going to get those 2. The fullback change is always going to be there. So the only other change is Isak for Diaz, and Isak was trying to press and trying to get involved in that regard.
He looked like he was running in treacle from minute 40. The guy is taking his time to get fit, like as in like he looked gassed in the. I was watching him. He looked gassed in the first half. So I don't know if you're asking him to run more than he ran at Newcastle or whatever, but you're not wrong, Rax, in anything you're saying. It's like the team is back to basic, and the team was terrible. Like United probably should have been 2 up. Yeah, like as in Liverpool then did have chances and stuff, but then once it got back to 1-1, are you worried about the fact that you constantly keep giving away winners now in the last few games, having brought? Like, what do you think that's down to?
I'm more concerned about the fact that we're conceding 2 goals. We've conceded 2 goals on so many games. Like that, like the odd goal here or there, I can kind of accept it, because shit happens, especially when you play in the way that we do, which is probably arguably more attacking, more front-footed. But to lose 2 is one is bad, 2 is careless, and that needs to stop. Ahmed, you're on mute.
If I'm going to give some positivity to the Liverpool fans, some level of some light that coming along the way, they actually have some good fixtures to, maybe reset themselves, get themselves back to their best. They've got
let me phrase it this way then, Ahmed. Do Liverpool have enough time to figure it out and still stay in this title race, or do you think it's done?
Igal, you said the title race wasn't done when you were 5 points behind. We're 4 points behind.
Yeah.
No, but you know what's happened,
and you were calling your fellow Arsenal fans crazy for ruling yourself out of transfer, and we won and we are the champions.
Stop, everyone here. Jay, I need you back for this. There's been a 9-point swing since we spoke about that.
Okay. So there could be another 9-point swing back. Let's go point for point. Point for there's been a 9-point swing, but that swing can also reverse, right?
You've also lost 4 games in all competitions.
Okay, but one of them, 3 of them in the league. That matters more than the Champions League at this stage.
Okay, number 3.
Next point.
The third thing, your defense is one of the worst defenses you've had over the last couple of years.
That's true.
You're conceding 1 or 2 goals every game, to the point where now your attack is being asked to put more pressure on your creativity and get more goals. My team, we score 1 goal, we can sit back comfortable, knowing that my defense doesn't concede too many chances.
It was different ways of approaching it. Like obviously, like I get what you're saying, guys. Like Arsenal are. But
forget about that. Any title winner who concedes that much. Have you ever heard of any title winner who concedes that much?
It's concerning. It's concerning. Absolutely, it should be concerning. But that's not. But you're saying, you're posing the question when you yourself said that you weren't out of the title race when you were 5 points behind. You're saying you're posing the question now: are we out of the title race? You don't see that's a bit weird.
The way you guys are playing and the state of your team, the current
state. But that's a different point. That's a different point. Yeah. You said, "Are we out?" You said, "Are we out?" Past.
The reason why I say this is because I see this Liverpool team continuing to drop points and continuing to lose. Last year, the whole year, you lost 4 games. This season, you've already lost 3 games in the last 3 games. What makes me believe that this Liverpool team that has lost, what do you call it, 75% of their defeats last season in the last 3 fixtures, they're going to now somehow turn it around and have the consistency to go on, kick on, and win the league. There is no evidence based on how you've played this season to tell me you're going to now all of a sudden turn it around.
There's no evidence based on the last 3 games. There's no evidence based on the last 3 games. Remember, we have
based
one.
On the entire season.
We did it, but this is why looking at 3 games or 5 games or whatever, a small sample size is not a fair reflection.
Let me look at
do you think when you say you expect us to continue losing, do you expect us to continue losing for the rest of the season? Because that means we're going to get relegated.
Okay,
this is what I expect. Of course you don't. So then think specifics.
No. Let me be specific. I expect your defense to still be shaky because it's been shaky the whole season. I expect your attack to have to save you consistently because you cannot rely on your defense to keep clean sheets on a week-to-week basis. Now that we get past that, you have 5 new signings who have been, and I can say maybe 4 of them have not embedded into the team yet properly. You have to find cohesion and embed these 5 new players to get these results, because some of these are key players. You're starting left back, you're starting striker, you're starting center mid, you're starting right back. None of these positions are sorted out. And finally, you have problems on every single level of the football pitch. Your defense is shaky. Your attack, which is supposed to be one of the best in the league on paper, is not performing in a game like today. And then your midfield, which won you the title last season, are underperforming. Besides Gravenberch,
you contradict yourself so much. You contradict yourself. A minute ago on this very show, you said Salah won us the title last season.
Yeah, but on paper right now, you have the best attack in the league.
On paper, at
the start of this stream, you said Salah won us the title last season, and now you're saying our midfield won us the title. But what about you?
No, I'm saying.
Am I in a parallel universe?
Title
a minute ago, you said the midfield. You said the midfield won us.
This is where we get misconstrued. I said a title
winning. Because you're not specific with the words you use.
No, because it is correct. It is a fact. It's a title-winning midfield. You won the.
No, that's not the word. That's not. You said your midfield won. No, you said no. You said your midfield won you the title.
Semantics. You're arguing.
Okay, so be specific about the word you use. So be specific about the word you use. Otherwise, you're gonna get misconstrued.
The main point is those 3 were rated to a level to say that they were deserved title winners, and the midfield was propped up as a title-winning midfield because McAllister and Gravenberch and Szoboszlai were highly rated off the back of their performances last season. This game versus Manchester United, they are known as one of the worst midfields in the league, and you guys were unable to continue.
This game, they were.
Okay, forget about this game then. The entire season, you are fighting over semantics. My main point still applies. Manchester United, forget about them, forget about Crystal Palace, forget about everything. Look at the entire season. On all 3 levels, the attack, the midfield, and the defense, Liverpool have glaring issues, and your manager has to solve them. And it looks like 8 games in the league, and however many games across all competitions, he's still struggling to find the best 11, to find the best cohesion, and to find the results, to find the
that's fair. But that's fair. Find cohesion.
The issue and address it.
Okay, but that's fair. If you say we lack cohesion and we're not gelling, I think even when even when we were winning, I said that. Even when we lacked consistency, we still were winning games.
Now that the results are not coming, everything that we've been saying when the results were still coming are now more obvious. And my main thing is Liverpool have never looked good on all 3 levels this entire season.
I mean, I think they've looked quite good. Like at times, like it's not. Up until a few weeks ago, we were praising them for coming through. Do you know what I mean? And certain games, they were the better team, if not by much. I feel like the last few weeks, his margins and I think Liverpool obviously aren't of the level last season. But you've also got to think the team will gel more. In theory, it has to. Do you know what I mean? But then it might not. Because the question you've got is, Slot now, in the gelling process, are you going to gel the team or are you going to try and be erratic to try and find solutions? And that can also hinder Liverpool moving forward. If Slot going to pick the team and then help them and build into it, or is he going to keep tinkering to try and find a variation? McAllister's playing very badly this season, which is quite surprising. But he didn't have a preseason, but now we're a few games in and he's still playing kind of poorly. So I'm not sure what's up with him. I feel like when he played the 6 the season before, he played the 8 last season. It's interesting to see how he's going to develop, and Wirtz in that team as well. Was it Sobo, Wirtz, and Gravenberch? Really? Maybe try that for a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Fair. You know what, Rack? To be fair, we're gonna have to move on to other topics. Do you have anything else to say before we go on?
No.
Ahmed, you guys got Ange sacked. Chelsea slapped Forest. Set piece goals. Reece James played well. Pedro, I didn't expect that from him. And no Caicedo, no Enzo, no Cole Palmer, and you still did the job. Easy work. What'd you think?
I wouldn't say it was easy work. I think in the first half, we kind of made it very hard for ourselves. We kind of made mistakes in that build-up, which allowed them to have some big chances, which they obviously missed. I think attacking-wise, we're quite stale going forward. I don't think our attackers were great. In particular, I think the manager kind of got the midfield balance wrong. In my personal opinion, I don't think
he wasn't on the pitch, right?
Well, he did still choose the starting lineup, didn't he? So it's not Caballero is not the one that's choosing the thingy, right? So, but to give the manager credit, he didn't make the triple subs at halftime. And I think, listen, one thing I will say is that I think we need to be playing Mark Gui more. I just think again, João Pedro just works best in that 10 role, right? Always on a 2-man strike formation. At the end of the day, I don't think he works as a single striker, and the manager knows that. We know that. That's why Delap started playing way more games before, obviously his sad injury where with his hamstring injury. But like that sort of strike formation works because João Pedro is able to do what he needs to do. You've got now number Margui. He's aggressive. He's young. He's a proper number 9. Obviously, he may not be able to be as effective going forward in terms of scoring, but he allows João Pedro to be a lot more open. And that's the guy that you want to be your danger man. I think obviously Neto stepped up in the second half. Credit to him. Very happy for my boy Joshua Chempong to score his first Premier League goal. You know, he's getting more game time. He's probably one of the few guys that I would say is going to the top. So, you know, I really appreciate and respect that about him at the end of the day. So I look forward to seeing more from him. But in general, happy with the game, man. We got the win. We needed the win at the end of the day. Back-to-back wins again. Obviously, the last before the Liverpool game, we didn't have that much of a great streak. We'd obviously lost players. But listen, this is about, you know, making sure we continue on this trail, continue to get better, and to continue to improve as a team. So I'm very happy about that.
You know what? The only thing I had to say about Chelsea was I was watching the game. The set pieces was the set piece goals you guys are scoring. I love it.
I think, listen, man, at the end of the day, as I said before, right, you know, being able to score set piece goals is just another opportunity for you to, you know, have another way of scoring.
Do you think
right?
if your team was fit, you'd be in this title race?
I think we'd be competitive. Obviously, yes, title race wise, yes, we'd be competitive. We'd probably be in there a bit more, but I think at the end of the day, I think what would still hamper us, I think what would eventually take us out of the title race is the youthfulness of our squad, right? We still got a lot of guys that need to develop, guys that still need to improve. So I think we'd be in and around about here. I think we'd probably be a lot more stronger in third place right now, or like second, third place right now with City, essentially right now. Like, but obviously we're only like 2 points behind City right now, or like 3. So we're kind of not in a bad place, even though we've lost like half the squad essentially to injury. So we can't hear you, guy. I think you're on mute, mate.
Ange Postecoglou getting sacked. Anybody want to speak about that? Jay?
We should let the Spurs guy speak first, man.
Jay, do you want to come back and speak about that? Honestly, I'm not shocked. Are you? Is anybody shocked?
I think the thing about Ange is, like, from my point of view, it's like, sorry, one sec. My point of view is.
All right, let's hear from Rack while you're away.
Ange, it's one of those, isn't it? I think, you know, at times I've watched Forest and they were all right, you know. But the problem with Ange at Forest is very similar to what happened at Spurs. Is that you can play well, but we're just too easy to concede. Like, it's just too easy for the opposition team to score. 39 games, isn't it? The record of any permanent manager. That's the shortest time of any permanent manager's ever been in the Premier League. but 5
Spurs.
million.
For Spurs. Oh, 39 days
Spurs.
for Ange. No, there was
Yeah.
someone had 30 days. I saw someone had 30 days.
Allardyce was only an interim, so
okay.
Ange is the shortest permanent manager of all time.
Oh wow. You know what it is? Also, you're following Nuno, who did a good job, and he had a certain way of playing, and you bring in Ange, who's completely different.
Yeah.
And with Forest as they are at the moment, yes, they had a good season last season, but there's, as with any team that's been promoted in recent seasons, there's going to be a degree of instability, and you're not sure because it takes a while to become an established Premier League team like a Palace or a Brighton. You need to build up your first team squad. Your first team. You need to build up your squad. You need to get money in and hire the best people in whatever position it is. And then you've got the wild card, which is Marinakis, who potentially can be trigger happy. He's fired other managers in relatively short notice, and even Nuno, the manager who'd given them such a good finish in the Premier League, when he had to make a decision, for better or for worse, he made that decision. And when you have that instability as a club, there's a possibility you could go down and lose 100 million. So Marinakis is also always going to think, if this guy's not going to keep me in the Premier League at the very least, that's a £100 million decision. I need to find someone who is going to. And that's why the talk is of him going for Sean Dyche, because Sean Dyche is a defensive first, potentially solid Premier League proven manager. Is he the best? Is he going to get them into the top half of the table? No. But he may just keep them in the Premier League, which would be worth 100 million. It's a numbers game.
I think this is.
Do you know what it is though?
I think this comment is disrespectful to Hansi Flick to say that Ange's style works with an elite squad.
I mean, he can work with an elite squad because listen, I think
to say Hansi Flick has the exact same tactics as Ange is nuts.
I mean, to be fair, he played very similar to Ange. He has a high line, right? He's very attacking first, right? And that's his style of play. There's nothing wrong with us saying that.
What have you not seen her calling him Arne Postecoglou on the timeline a little bit?
Yes. So it's not.
I say, how different are Liverpool to Spurs 2 seasons ago?
Yeah.
And just first season.
Yeah.
There's similarities. There is definite similarities between the teams.
You think Barcelona are very similar to how you guys were?
No, I think Liverpool have similarities to Ange Tottenham first season. The team that Liverpool, how they play today, there's similarities to how Tottenham played in the first season.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think for me,
hey, are you gonna be back? Because you're gonna be talking about Spurs in a few minutes.
I mean, if you do Spurs now, I can give you a few minutes on Spurs.
Yeah.
But,
I'm gonna make one point. I'm gonna make one point quickly on Ange, and that's it. I think the problem with Ange was Ange chose the wrong job, and Marinakis and Nottingham Forest decided to choose the wrong manager for the team. Because Ange Postecoglou did not suit the players that were available in the team. Simple as that, really.
You know what it should have been? I think they thought, have a defensive team, bring in an attacking manager. We have both now. I thought that's what it was going to be, but I guess it doesn't work.
No, but it's one
talk about Spurs, bro. First of all, I just want to say to the Spurs fans that were not Jay, that said that like Deji, who were coming at me after 5 games saying we're the same, we're on the same points, we've had the same results. You guys need to relax. Since then, you've not won a game in the Premier League.
Yeah, we must have beat Leeds or something. But yeah, my point is merely, I remember saying to you going into this game, Villa, they don't really. I don't see how Villa are going to score. Do you know what I mean? And then they score 2 really good goals from outside the box. You can argue we should have closed them down. And it's obviously our home form is horrific. It's really, really poor. And I thought looking at these games versus Wolves and Villa, I thought we'd have 6 points. We got 1. 2 home games against Wolves and Villa, we got 1 point.
Shocking.
We just got to improve at home. I mean, it's our away form is good, our home form is poor, and it's just I think Frank is. I mean, it depends. I don't know if it's a reflection of the squad, if it's tactical. We'll see at the end of the season. But
did you create enough chances in open play?
We did okay. We created more than Villa. We had some decent chances. We scored early. It's just
scored from a set piece, right?
Yeah. So it was we're not creating enough. like we're not generating enough opportunities. We're not pushing the opposition back. Everything's kind of like very duel-like, which is fine because when I look at Newcastle, Arsenal, teams like that, they all play a bit like they play like that. Do you know what I mean? When Arteta started, when Newcastle started, they all played that kind of dual football, kind of like combustible, battling type stuff. And then you evolve and you add more. Simmons isn't doing it quite at the moment. It's not clicking. We miss Maddison and Kulusevski massively from a creative point of view. Manager needs to help himself. Like the Bentancur, Paulinho pivot, it's not doing much creatively, but it's somewhat solid. So, yeah, we have a lot of issues too. The only good thing is early, the table's bunched up. So we got to get on it. But yeah, the home form is really poor at the moment. You got because we lost to Bournemouth as well. So we've lost to Bournemouth, we've lost to Villa, and we've drawn with Wolves at home this season. So yeah, that's 7 points.
You know what's funny? One thing I'm going to mention really.
Let me just say one thing. Shots from outside the box being scored on a regular basis is not normal. For 2 goals like that to be scored from outside the box, who do you blame that on?
The defender's not pressing. Maybe Vicario you could look at. Maybe for the first goal, I don't see it. It's a mad strike by Rodgers, but it's not super in the corner sometimes.
No, it's not. It's more central.
But the shot dips a lot. So if you look at how, if you look at the strike, the ball kind of goes up and then down. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, the second one's unsavable because
but the first one. If you look at the first one, where he hits it. Look at the height of the ball before it drops. Do you see what I mean?
It's just under the post.
That's what I'm saying. It goes really high and then it comes down just under the bar. It's like a dipping shot. So whilst it looks bad for Vicario, when I actually look at it, it's maybe like a timing of the jump thing. Maybe if he times his jump a little bit,
just play it safe. Yeah.
So yeah, no, just Vicario's having not. Just a couple of these, maybe you think he saves. He's had a few outside the area he's conceded this season, Vicario. So one to be careful on because I think he conceded one against Brighton as well, outside the box.
Ahmed, I don't know if you're going to talk about Xavi Simons, but I was going to mention him.
No, I wasn't even going to mention him. I just think I feel like this year and after this year, the December period is going to be a make or break. Ironically, the way the table's looking and how inconsistent a lot of teams are, that November to February period is going to be like a big killer in terms of like who's gonna kind of like sink or swim within that period because I feel like a lot.
Yeah, you're right. Huh? Look at the table. You're right.
It's so close right now that like listen. I'm not saying the next 3 weeks might not change stuff, but realistically, you still got went to international break, but I feel like after that,
it's 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it is early, so of course it's going to be like that.
Right, yeah, 30 games to go. Like you put an unbeaten run of 10 games together, you fly up the league. You know what I mean?
You know something, Jay? The reason why I laugh when I hear from Tottenham fans about set pieces is because you guys score a lot of set pieces now. You like set pieces, but you're also not scoring as many goals in open play.
Exactly. I think the thing is that if you could have some open play patterns with defensive pragmatism, but it's like, the goals, concede 2 goals from outside the box. It's one of those where it's like,
what are you going to do?
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's quite rare that, but then it's also the midfield that you folded on top of yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you got to get out and press. So
can we also be honest though? Like, I feel like, listen, I guess I feel like when it comes to, whenever you talk about Arsenal and set pieces, like again, I feel like it's kind of becoming like your I think when people it's not even becoming taboo, it's like your go-to thing, like, oh, we need a goal, set piece, goal. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think it is more than anything else.
We have the most corners taken in the league, and we have the most touches in the opponent's box. We just generate more corners because we're in the attacking third more often, and then eventually we're going to score because we're really good at them.
No, I'm not saying that you're not gonna score them. I think the way that people see it is just that whenever you need a goal, there's always like a set piece waiting for you to get a goal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that being said. Either way, as long as you win, that's what matters. Is it? If it's sustainable, it's sustainable.
Spurs, though.
Spurs wise, I just think, listen, I saw a lot of Spurs fans weren't happy with this loss. Like a lot of them are just not happy with Frank in general, which is kind of surprising me because again, Frank is a defense first approach sort of manager. He's a
and he's never been
adaptable, right? And well, that's fair enough. But I think at the end of the day, he needs to. I think with him, when you get these guys, Cuba's got Maresca, who had far less experience. That was in the Championship, for example, right? But you've got obviously Frank, who's your mid-table club manager. These guys need to learn. It's gonna take time with some of these guys, bro, for them to improve as a team. And again, with Spurs, like with all due respect, if you look at their attack, right, barring, I can't even say Solanke to be honest, but if you look at their attack, they're missing Kulusevski, they're missing Maddison, but Son's just gone. They're missing a lot of quite big hitters, bro. Javi Simmons has just come to the league, right? He's gonna take time for him to get into that. Richarlison has always been hit and miss as a player. Solanke hasn't been as consistent as he's been there too. I forget the guy they got from Burnley, who's a really young guy. He's gonna he needs some time. We know about forget the Welsh winger they've got. I forget his name. That used to play for Nottingham Forest as well, right? He's another one too, where it's gonna take him time too. So there's a lot of guys that they've just got in the team that they're gonna need time to grow and develop. That's all it is. And much like with a lot of these other teams, whether it be Chelsea, all of us, these teams unironically now need time and experience.
All right, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would cook Spurs, but it's not gonna be fun if Jay's not here. Overall, we overall.
Is it? But do we need to cook? Do we need to cook Spurs? Bro, I'll be honest with you. But even, I feel like if you just look at the top six, I'm saying that it's like a general comment of mine. If you look at the top six in general, a lot of us will expect to I'll probably say Liverpool right now and City because they got some of their big players back now, right? And Arsenal. These guys are all missing key players, bro. Like
they're missing Odegaard.
No, but like, but that's like
but like a lot, like first season, 8 games in, we did finish 17th last season. I don't think we're a 17th place side, obviously. But like we did finish 17th. We had 22 losses. So I will say and also if I look at where I thought Spurs will finish, I was like, obviously I think Chelsea are going to finish in the top 4, and Spurs are in that battle for between 5th and 8th, innit? And hopefully we can top that group, but it's still a battle. Like Newcastle and stuff like that. There's good teams in there, so
we'll see where you end up. For now, shout out to everybody. Where should we redirect? Ahmed, are you going live anytime soon?
No, I am going to be going live with my mate, Marshall on Casual FC. If I'm going to redirect that.
All right, guys, go check out Casual FC later on. Right now, I'm going to redirect you guys to Never a Foul. Send you guys over there. They just went live 9:20. Go cook Liverpool. And Jay, we're going to have another day to talk about Xavi Simons, not today. Oh, they're both gone. They disappeared. They vanished. Poof, they're gone. Anyways, Rax, big up to you for joining us. It wasn't but there was a little bit of heated moment there. Love the passion always. And hopefully Liverpool can figure it out for your sake, because I don't want you to lose your mind the whole season. But yeah.
Sure. I hope so too.
But I think but I do think it's our year, and it's our year. It's in our hands. We have to go and take it. And if we're gonna do it, we always have to do it the hard way. It's not this easy. There's gonna be more battles across the season. There's gonna be hiccups. And we're going to have to get, and eventually when it's our turn to hiccup, let's see how we bounce back. For now, it's your time. Let's see how you bounce back. Arnie Slot got a lot of work to do. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Love for the love. Please check out OK Jersey. Use the code EGAL. If you want to get 8% off, you can get good discounts on kits for about £20. You can get replica kits. And of course, with the World Cup coming around, you might as well get some of those countries' national team kits. A
little tip. The Juve have released, I don't know if it's limited edition, but a Juve kit, which looks really, really good. So I used to live in Turin, so I think I'm going to get that one, OK Jersey, because I ain't spending whatever, £50 or something.
Don't forget to use the code EGAL for 8% off.
I will, bro.
We're out of here, people. Catch you guys in the next one. You already know what it is. Tell them on Never a Foul, Arsenal's winning the league, and tell Mons to hold that.